All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our monthly Works and Rec regular meeting. It's Tuesday, July 8th at 6 o'clock. I guess we can introduce ourselves. So would you like to start?
Alexandra Weil.
Nathan Fowle.
Jen
Brian.
Boucher.
Brian Pappas.
All right. So I'll call the meeting to order. Kate, is there anyone available for public comment?
There's no one on.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Next item is to approve the June minutes, which I sent along for review before the meeting.
I have a small little correction. My name and last name.
Okay, so we will correct.
It's Alexandra and it's Weil, E-I.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes with that correction. Would you like to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Nice minutes. Oh,
Minutes, sorry, approve the minutes.
Second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving right along into old business. So on June 17th, this group, excluding me, had a meeting with the planning commission. So I was hoping to get a recap of that meeting and to understand any action items.
First of all, Nate did a great job.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
Good feedback for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the only thing that we got even a little bit of pushback on was the rollover roundabout.
Yeah.
And I think it's likely just from a lack of understanding of kind of what its purpose is, really. But
One here at Center Street?
Yeah, the one right here.
Okay.
But even that, like, I think the way we left it was basically like, we're gonna kind of go ahead and continue to kind of explore all of there wasn't anything that they said, we don't want it, we don't want to support this. So I think basically where we left it was they are going to kind of take these top line items here in bold
Yeah.
and kind of convert that into text that they feel good about to put into the town plan.
Okay.
And then they're going to kind of leave each one of those general enough that we can go ahead and kind of pursue whichever sort of projects we think are worth pursuing and sort of the lowest hanging fruit. And certainly it seems like, I mean, there was general consensus that sort of focusing on this like Route 7 corridor here was sort of a good place to start.
Okay.
Just a lot of comments on traffic speed and accidents, right? So yeah, I think that's kind of where we left it.
Okay, so they'll integrate those items into the town plan.
Mhm. So the other angle on this, which is something that Tom Zolfer and I have been working on, is a grant application with Terra to do a scoping study that's going to take a look at sort of all of these items.
Oh, okay.
Laid out in the BCRC report.
Okay.
And turning the possibility of turning Route 7 into a Class 1 town highway along the strip, which would then enable us to do all sorts of stuff that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise, like reduce the speed further. Putting in crosswalks and signs would be a lot easier. So yeah, that application is due on Friday. So we're kind of scrambling to get it all finished up, but hopefully that'll get us $50,000 to hire somebody to do a scoping study, which I don't fully understand what that is or how it differs from the BCRC report, but it's going to be sort of on the feasibility of the same stuff.
Okay, and maybe some more in-depth costing.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah, I think probably more granular level of detail.
Yeah, I mean, it's from talking with Mark Anders, who's the BCRC bike ped person, he said kind of this is the next step in the process to then eventually getting one of these V-Trans grants to do all these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I mean, we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope we get the grant. Mark said it's usually about 1 in 2 towns that apply get it. So that's pretty good chances.
Okay.
And if we don't get it this year, it means we'll hopefully get it next year.
Okay, so in terms of keeping this on the agenda or not, do you think it should be under old business, or should we just talk about it as new developments occur?
Yeah, I mean, I think to some degree, it's like if there's a certain project we want to take up in there, certainly I think we can. And then we can kind of revisit once we hear whether we got this grant or not, because that will kind of determine what the next steps are.
All right. Brian or Alexandra, do you have any other comments?
I'm sorry, you may have said this, but any sense how long it takes for them to decide?
Oh, for the scoping study grant, I'm not exactly sure. A couple months.
I'm just curious, is there anything we can continue doing like outside of that waiting period? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I think Parks and Rec is really the Center Street Park items. So maybe we could look at implementing something under that heading, which I think we already we talked about the walking path or, sorry, someone close to me. Something like that.
Yeah, we talked about the walking path, or I guess somebody costed out like a playground, and it sounded like maybe that was going to take a little bit more money than we had to spend right now. But there might be grants available for that stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think there's any sense in like if there's other projects that you're excited about working on, I think we should go for it,
Yeah, I mean, it's like, on the one hand, we have to wait we have to wait on that grant. We also, some things we can't move on just by ourselves. It appears we need to go to the town, but it just, I don't have anything off the top of my head right now, but I feel like that's a long time to wait to just let that sit in a.
Right. I know they're going to be paving the back parking lot. So I think one of the items on here is to delineate the existing parking.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So maybe we could follow up and say, you're parking it. Are you lining it? Because I think that was one of the suggestions in the report was to actually line the spaces so you knew. I think they still know like 60 cars down there. I don't know, some number that I was like, wow, that's a lot of cars. Maybe it was 30. I have it wrong, but I can follow up on that one.
Well, and in terms of sort of other things we can work on in the meantime, like the recreation signage, I think even after we get it printed is going to be a big project to kind of get it up. And also at the same time, another project that dovetails with that great is the Western New England Greenway signs. And so where we're at on that is that we've got to go basically flag out where they're going to be, get approval from Joel Burrington on his end, and then we can start putting them in. We can, as soon as they like order the signs and everything, we can start putting them in. So I think those are definitely two like big projects we can focus on while we're waiting on this other stuff.
Those sound big enough.
Oh yeah, those will keep us going. I mean, especially if we don't come up with a way to like hire people to put the signs in, we're going to be digging a lot of holes.
Now it wasn't on their list, but although we don't have that swing there, it might be worth looking into maybe a bench or two down there.
Yeah, we did talk about that bench too down there. Okay.
I costed out bringing utilities down there. It would be like at least $12,000 to bring down water and electricity. I think we were talking about sort of approximately 100 feet of trenching to kind of get it down into that ballpark from the building. So I think it's a project worth doing, but probably not at this exact moment.
Maybe as part of a larger project.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
But in the meantime, if we did have a food truck that came, is there a way we can negotiate with the town that they would have access downstairs to electricity and water?
I think there's an outlet outside.
There is an outlet, definitely that's right, for electricity and water.
Yeah, I mean, I get like in the short term, maybe we could figure out a spot where we could park food truck like right up by the building here instead, just so they can like run extension cords without people tripping over them.
Yeah, I know at the front light out here, parking light has a electric plug built into it.
Mm.
That's what we use.
Oh, for the Christmas tree.
That's
You
right.
know, that would make sense
Mhm.
down there too. So you want running a cord
Yeah,
through the parking lot.
yeah,
You know, maybe, and maybe not in lieu of extending that, but maybe using the light that's closest and then it's a shorter extension cord,
sure.
you know, so I don't know anything about that subject whatsoever.
Well, you know, we could try it, you know, I mean, if we want to find, yeah, I don't know when there's a good occasion to do that, but we could, you know, do a little poking around and see if we could find someone who's interested.
Right. I mean, you mean in the electricity or in actually coming as a food truck?
Coming as food truck.
Yeah, I think
And
that
then
might be,
try it out, you
that
know?
might be the first question, right?
Mhm.
Find somebody and see what they're used to when they go to other towns.
Right.
I know this is on the agenda, but the murals, Faye, who was painting the murals, asked for electricity for the
Mm.
projector. She was able to bring an extension cord, but that would have been a nice thing to have there. So not just for a food truck, but for, you know, if there was a need for
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. So, of course, the light poles here are dark sensitive. So they only come on a timer.
Oh, so the outlet's only.
The outlet is a
on
timed outlet.
Whoops.
So maybe that might not make sense, but
Mhm.
I guess it's worth an ask in the interim.
Wait, so does the Christmas tree get dimmed then?
Well, the electricity, yeah, they're on timers, so the electric cuts off, you know, whatever. I think it does anyway, I'm pretty sure it does, so anyway. Yeah,
It depends on where the timer is. The timer is built into the light, then yeah. But if the timer is, I mean, if the timer is built in the light, there'd be hot wire out there. You could bring a wire down from the hot wire down from the.
Yeah.
it's built in down
Yeah.
here. The timer's
Just add an
downstairs.
outlet.
yeah,
It's downstairs and it's gonna be timed at the light no matter what you do.
all right. Ask about that. The Vorak grant, Pownell Town Forest. Exciting times.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately, Nate's gonna have to give the update on that, because I have not been able to get up to the town forest with the
Yeah.
crew there.
So the very shortened version of the update is the people working up there are really awesome and working super hard. We are definitely like way behind schedule due to a couple of unforeseen incidents and a few little mistakes and like just little bits and pieces here kind of eroded away at the time that we had pretty significantly. So where we're at is the sort of upper part of the loop is like totally walkable now, looks pretty good. The last part of it, the trail's been kind of roughed out, but they're not gonna have time to actually like bench it in. So you can see where it is, but we'll still eventually want to just kind of dig down a little bit and sort of get all the organic matter off of the trail. But it's totally walkable. They're working on the bridge, and then the hope is they'll finish the bridge tomorrow and we'll have a couple of days to work on the steepest bits on either side of the river because we'll need help with those. And then likely we will have to use volunteers to sort of finish making that connection.
Mhm.
But it's, it's a few hundred feet. So, a couple of people, a couple of days to kind of complete that. But yeah, unfortunately, just everything that could have gone wrong kind of went wrong. And we're down a person because one of the people had like a medical issue at the end of last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going okay.
All right. So I know we didn't have our monthly steering meeting yet. So there were some questions for the Act 250 permit, and I don't know if those are done or submitted yet. But that was the next step in the road parking lot kind of thing there.
I did run into Sean up there, and he's been working the last couple of days on grading out the road. So he's making good. I don't know if he's supposed to be doing that or not, but he is, and it's looking pretty good.
Okay.
He's not like he's not like pushing down a tree. He's just sort of
Yeah.
the existing Nicholas Way there. He's just
Got it.
and yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
In terms of the Vermont Youth Conservation Corps crew, we talked about pizza.
Yeah.
And is that like off the table now? We should just,
I don't know.
It might add more,
Yeah, I think it may add some confusion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe the way to do it is like, if you want to thank them, we could like buy them like gift certificates to some sort of
Okay.
restaurant or something like that, but, yeah, they're kind of in the zone and they're like.
I
wouldn't-
understand.
I wouldn't want to lose any
Yep.
time in the middle of the
I
day.
was just thinking that, we don't
Yeah.
want, if we've lost time, we don't want to lose any more time. The other thing I was thinking is that, I know for that part of the grant, it was $40,000.
Mhm.
And so this is 2 weeks of youth conservation core work. Plus, we've had some other expenditures like the trail counter,
Mhm.
some of the mapping. But I would think that there's at least another week's worth of trail work in the budget. But that's something we should talk about
Okay,
with Tara. And, potentially maybe another week could open for the,
yeah, I mean, a week would do it for sure.
is it $8,000 a week?
I thought it was $8,000 for the 2 weeks.
No, it's a week.
Oh, it's $8,000 a week. Jeez.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I mean, it's, like, I think it's probably still worth it, but yeah, it's hard. It's like between the commute out here and the commute back, they do half days on Monday and Friday.
Right.
So yeah, it's really, it's 4 days, 4 days of work.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see where they get to. I mean, I would love to make sure we can kind of get it finished. I'm hoping that they'll get it close enough that I could finish it up, but,
Okay.
Where are they commuting from?
well, so they're like at the beginning and the end of the week, they're commuting from Richmond, Vermont, which is like just south of Burlington.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes them like three
Wow.
plus hours to get out here. But then they're like during the week, they're actually staying at an
Yeah.
apartment that we've got just right in town here. So they're just 5 minutes away.
They were originally planning on September, but they moved it up till June. So was there a project to cancel out on them? They freed up time for them, or how did that come about that they did June instead of September?
I think they got funding cut because of was it like AmeriCorps funding got cut, so they had to change. Some projects got kind of stalled out, but it may mean that like they might have time in September to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they made it some availability. Okay.
Yep. Well, yeah, we can definitely start that conversation once we can see where we end up and how much more there needs to get done.
Yep. Okay. All right. Next is Center Street Park. So Nate, I know you made some purchases,
Yep.
the maintenance items.
We got it all down in the basement there. And yeah, we got a new sail to replace that one.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it is sort of materials to try and repair that crack that goes across the skate park.
Yeah.
So I have no specific plans with Cliff to do the repairs, but I think it'll just take the two of us a few hours to do it,
Okay.
honestly. So hopefully sometime in the next month or so.
Okay. I don't know if you saw the person on the murals was here and she painted the other side of the shed down below. Sorry, I'm pointing
Mhm.
the direction of the park. I don't know if she started the rock wall.
I haven't checked recently. The last time I looked, she hadn't, but it's all
Okay.
stripped down and ready to go.
Okay,
So yeah, as soon as it's done, we can start building it back up.
all right. Well, I think the shed side looks great.
Oh, yeah, it's
The
awesome.
visibility from the road is really
Love
good.
it.
So when you
I haven't
drive
seen it. I'll check
by,
it out.
you can look down.
I love
Nice.
that tonight.
We can see that. So yeah, that's really great. All right, the next big item is Celebrate Pownell Day, which is the town picnic from 11 to 3. So Nate, I was wondering if you heard anything from Stewart's.
I mean, I got the same, sort of boilerplate confirmation when
Yeah.
we sent it in.
Yeah,
They did leave a number or an email or something that we can kind of call if we have questions. So like
Okay.
if you would have expected to have heard by now,
yeah.
okay, all right, I'll follow up. Yeah,
Typically, yes.
okay.
Because if we aren't receiving those donations,
Yeah.
then we have to make the purchases.
Yep.
All right, and are you available, Brian, to help?
Yeah, I'm available, but Julie won't be available to go pick up
Right,
the roads
right.
and stuff.
She doesn't want to hobble down there on her
Crutches.
newly repaired knee. Just,
She's having knee surgery this week, so, yeah.
okay. So I know in the past, Brian, you've helped transport the grill.
Yeah, I can bring my trailer again.
You can bring your trailer again and help with that. And was
We
it
need
your
to look
tent?
through the access though, because it's downstairs now, right? It's not your house.
Yeah, it's here, but I have a key.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and Nate has a key.
I have a key too.
Okay, cool.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could grab that.
That grill and then what other grill?
I'll have to ask Pownell Youth Sports if we can use their grill, which Colby has let us use in the past. And then we have a tent. Is that your tent? Whose? tent
Yeah,
is
we
that?
brought our tent, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the pop-up, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll bring that again.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I know Seth isn't here, but I think Seth initially said he could help cook that day.
Oh, cool.
And if not, we'll have someone pinch hit.
Yeah, and last year, Pastor Jason lined up a couple of folks in church too, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Seth
team
isn't
isn't
here.
coming this year.
no, but
No.
yeah, they didn't come last year neither. but
Okay,
we
we
had,
had some folks.
last year we had, who we have?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
We'll work it out.
Christian,
Help if you need anything. I can't cook, just because I'm a vegetarian.
We'll need help with
Let's just veggie burgers.
the serving area.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Angie Rawling, I contacted her because she usually helps every year. She's gonna help too,
Cool.
because it gets a little chaotic with the serving and managing all that. Okay, great. In the past, Friends of Pownell has been generous donating like lemonade or dessert.
Mhm.
And so we don't have any dessert, so I didn't know if we could ask them.
We're meeting on Monday. I can,
Okay. There's a couple of dessert platters.
Mhm.
Yeah, you remember last year.
I brought them down there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, and then the last item is that I have a perishable food list that I need to have Tara purchase like the day before or 2 days before the picnic. And so currently it's at $358.88. So I would need to have permission to move ahead with that expenditure, but I would probably bump it up to $400 just in case
Sure.
prices increase. So if someone would be willing to make a motion.
so do you have, the tin pans?
I already bought those.
Okay,
I bought all the non-perishable stuff already.
okay.
Yeah.
How about some beef broth? Maybe?
Yes, I bought a
Okay.
container of that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I know we had that last year. Yep. I kept the list from last
Okay, cool.
year. So that way
Okay.
I knew what to buy for this year. So yeah, all that's left is perishable stuff.
You
And
getting the same hamburgers as last year?
what's that?
Same hamburgers as last year?
Which were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got good feedback on that. So someone would be willing to make a motion for $400.
I'd make a motion to request $400 to purchase the food for the picnic.
You, is there a second?
Second?
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good with that. And Angie typically works with the Legion to provide us with a lot of ice. So we need to keep everything in big coolers. So she graciously offered to do that again.
Awesome.
So I think we're good.
One other thing on that note, I mean, I'll work on kind of generating a list, but just, I've got access to a table where we can do kind of recreation stuff. Like, are there any specific materials or sort of projects we're working on or anything that like we should kind of try and highlight there, do you think?
I mean, I think the forest is always something
Mm-hmm.
to highlight and we did a survey one year there, but
The other thing is, would you have a map of the new loop we're making yet?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder, like, since we switched the community conversations to August, we'll be getting a map printed out. Maybe we just kind of preview the community conversation stuff. over there.
Exactly. Yeah, but that just means I have to get it done a little faster, but okay.
Well, yeah, we can.
That way it'll be ready to
We
go.
can preview whatever we've got. I assume, do they generally do they have like sort of tables and tents for people or do we kind of
It's
bring that in?
BYO.
BYO, okay, cool. Alrighty, I'll figure that
I
out.
have a folding table.
You have a folding table? Okay, maybe I'll get one of those just like, little sort of telescoping, like, awning tent things just to keep us out of the sun or whatever.
Yeah, that is extremely helpful.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good. Good old,
They will just basically point you to where your spot is.
okay, perfect.
And whatever you choose to do.
There are some under the tree, I think, or in the shade, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, yeah. All right, moving right along to recreational signage. Been a lot of activity. in recreational signage. Nate, I don't know how you keep everything straight.
I don't so we managed to get them paid under the time crunch, so that's good. Alexandra sent comments on was it just the ATV signs or on both?
Just the ATV.
Just the ATVs? We should follow up with Lucy. I got kind of distracted with all the trail stuff, but so we're very close to finalized designs for both things. And we've already paid her. So yeah, it's just, I think that's really kind of on Alexandra and I to just sort of make that last kind of pass at the edit and then pull the trigger on it.
So that was the non-state highway.
Non-state highway, correct. And then it'll take some money, but I did actually make some headway on the state highway signs too. They have to sort of comply with the state standards, which are these ugly kind of brown signs for the hiking stuff. But they said that like they can theoretically do that for us. It'll take a little bit of work and some permits and this and that, and we have to come up with money to like pay them but like they will produce and install the signs. So.
And there's an annual fee for them.
Ooh, okay, I see. I didn't know that.
There's
Okay.
an annual fee for those signs as well.
Yeah, so, it's a tricky thing. It's like, it'd be awesome to have them, if we're talking about.
There's just a couple and.
Well, yeah, and it's sort of something to direct people either 346 or Route 7, and then like something at, Barber Pond Road, and then a few along down the north. So yeah, I guess depending on what the annual fee is.
I feel like it was like $100.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'll have to look back at how many signs I have, but maybe we can trim it down a little bit.
Wonder what the annual fee is for? I mean, is it,
I don't know.
because we pay for having them, or do they print them, do everything?
I think they'll make the signs
Okay.
and they'll install them. So
All
theoretically,
right.
it's probably for like, maintenance or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that, the note to Lucy was only for the
The
ATV
18s.
sign. Some
Okay,
of the points I covered there will reference in the other one, but I need to send her a separate email for those.
gotcha. Okay, cool. So I'll let you manage finishing up the
Okay.
design, and I will finalize the spreadsheet of like
Right.
all the rec signs, which directions they're pointing. And then hopefully we can get that going in the next week or two.
And I'll follow up with her because I never heard back from her. I wasn't
Okay.
sure what.
I have her phone number too, if you want to call her. It's.
Oh, I have it, yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah,
It's
sometimes
on.
it's just easier to deal, when
Yeah.
you're going back and forth, yeah.
So I know you talked about the Western New England Greenway signs already. You're kind of waiting.
Oh, well, I'm waiting on me.
Right.
Yeah.
So to like identify the locations of that. I think,
Mhm.
I know, is Joel gonna like train the trainer kind of a thing, like,
Right, so yeah, I think sort of the order of operations will be, I want to flag them all out for Joel so we can go look at them all at once and just say, good to go. And then sort of street by street, we'll like organize a day where we can get some volunteers together,
Okay.
call Dig Safe and just do like one stretch of the road. And then, yeah, they will come out and train us on the first couple,
okay.
and then kind of set us loose after that.
And is the Western New England signage gonna be on the same pole or stake as the non-highway recreational signage?
In some cases, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, wherever we can, we'll share them.
Okay.
There are some places where we won't be able to, but luckily, yeah, like so much of the hiking and stuff
Yeah.
is up off of Barber Pond Road and South Stream, so we will be able to share over there to some degree.
Okay, great. Community conversations. It sounds like it's August community conversations.
Yeah, my dad had a display sort of queued up to go in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Alexander and I had a great meeting where we started sort of laying the groundwork for it. But yeah, I think we will actually have time to finish it in July and have something really nice for August.
Okay.
July 26th, actually now.
July 26th, yeah.
Right, for the Route 346 field update, youth sports did order $1,000 of roofing or up to $1,000 of roofing. So that was done. I need to, so there's a fly after me, connect again with Tara. She was out and exchanged some emails on next steps with that parking lot and potential walking path and any other improvements there. I think like one of the top things that's requested is a place to walk. So, I mean, if you look around the perimeter of that property, if we were able to clear the perimeter, which is one of the items, the brush is all grown in along there, and lay a gravel walkway, I think that would be money well spent. So I know Tara just got back in the office and I'll let her clear off a little bit. So we'll have an update on that next month. There's a matching grant opportunity in September, but you have to have all the permits in. So if we want to do any signage or anything with the driveway, you have to have the permits in hand for this particular grant.
Okay.
So it may not be feasible to do that. So I'll work through that with Tara and provide an update. There are other grant opportunities. Oh my goodness, this
thing was
totally after me. Anyway, that was it on that. Wow. It was like the black flies when I took a walk at South Stream the other day. It was like the black flies were relentless. They were absolutely awful. At least this one's just a nuisance. It's not biting me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So with that, that's all that we have for old business. We don't have anything on new business. Our next meeting date and time. So we've been going with the second Tuesday of the month. Time is flying by. So that would be August 12th. Does that sound fine for everyone at this point? Okay. Kate, is there any public comment?
We have nobody online.
All right. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Sure, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Set.